Let's all take a moment to thank the universe because we have been blessed. This is not another live action remake. This is not another sequel nobody wanted. We got an actual, original, never been seen before movie from Disney. I'm so excited. Like, no joke, I'm just actually so genuinely excited, and I'm trying not to say this in a cheesy way, but I am so happy. Thank you to all the stars that had to align for this to happen, because oh my god, with 2020 and everything, we just needed this. Raya and the Last Dragon. Friends, they gave us a teaser trailer, and we need to talk about it. I'm Ruth, and this is Nerd Culture. I don't know what those thumbs were. I've never done that before.
Nerd.
So we know Raya is actually supposed to be the newest official Disney princess, which is a big deal. Like, some Disney girls have been fighting for that rank for years. And Raya is also of Southeastern Asian heritage. And historically, now this is an opinion, but not really, pretty much the most brave and badass Disney princesses have been Asian. And fun fact, I am actually half Pakistani, so I'm all for adding to that list. Before we get into the breakdown of the trailer, and believe me, I have many thoughts, I want to mention something. If you think about most of the recent Disney movies, they've all had twist villains. Frozen, Wreck-It Ralph, Coco, Big Hero 6, Zootopia, Incredibles 2. Wow, I probably should have said spoilers before I started that list. Let's not be surprised if they do this again with Raya. I don't know why they've been doing it so lately. It's not helping with my trust issues at all, but we're fine. I'm going to read the premise of the movie from Wikipedia so we can have a little more context in case you guys are like, who is this girl and what dragon, like, what? Long ago, in the fantasy world of Kamandra, humans and dragons lived together in harmony. But when sinister monsters, known as the Drun, threatened the land, the dragons sacrificed themselves to save humanity. Now, 500 years later, those same monsters have returned, and it's up to a lone warrior, Raya, to track down the last dragon in order to finally stop the Drun for good. However, along her journey, she'll learn that it'll take more than dragon magic to save the world. It's going to take trust as well. Well, we're back to the trust issues. That's enough of that. Let's talk about this trailer. So, as always with any Disney movie, we start with the castle logo. But, hold up, it's different. We see an island of trees with a city or a village in the middle of it, and this interesting looking arched hill with other hills going on in the background. On top of the arched hill, you can see a castle, but the star crossing over the whole logo looks the same. There's also an intense score playing that sounded to me a little similar to the Frozen 2 score, so maybe they're from the same composer? Then we meet our hero, Raya. We see her masked up. Yes, love that she makes masks look cool. So mask up, kids. And she's also putting on these 2-finger gloves with her index and middle finger covered. She picks up 2 fighting bamboo poles, has arm cuffs on, her hair is tied up in a ponytail with a bracelet band, and she has 2 little ponytails like down the side of her face. Katara? Is that you? Listen, all you guys are saying that she looks like Katara, and I completely agree. Like, oh my gosh, there's probably a lawsuit there. Her outfit is so Katara-esque with the blue wrapping. Also, notice here that she could have picked up more violent weapons, but instead she chooses the 2 sticks, and you'll see why later. She then is shown jumping out of one building onto the roof of another as it's raining. She enters a fire-lit tunnel, which is very Indiana Jones-esque. She's definitely looking for something in there. She feels the mossy-covered walls as if she's checking if she's in the right place, and it seems like she is, as she looks really determined. Then, suddenly, oh my god, guys, what is that? A net? What is this girl, like, allergic to rope? Why can't she just move the net or cut it? Like, is it poisonous? Is she gonna get tangled in them? I don't know, but for some reason, she just doesn't feel comfortable around them being there. This net falls down from the ceiling, cutting her off from walking more into the tunnel, but the net doesn't even touch the floor. There's like this little gap, and she responds, clever. I have no idea how this is clever, but okay. She then pulls out Tuk Tuk, who is this adorable armadillo, so I guess maybe his armor protects him from the ropes? I don't know. I'm just very fascinated by these net things. You know, like, normally in tunnels, booby traps would be like spikes or like deadly arrows that shoot out, but literally just nets fall. Maybe I'm obviously missing something from the plot here, like, these nets probably mean something, or maybe they don't, and I'm just making something out of nothing, but she seems triggered by them. Anyway, Raya rolls Tuk Tuk underneath the net, and more of the swoop nets drop down, but Tuk Tuk just keeps rolling underneath them. Tuk Tuk then stops upon seeing a beetle and unravels to look at it very curiously, but then Raya literally tells him to focus, and he nods and continues rolling down the hallway, setting off one more trap before he reaches the end. The scene then cuts, though, to Raya lying underneath the last net by the door. I'm not sure what the point was sending Tuk Tuk down there in the first place. I thought she was sending him to, like, go press a button at the end to disarm all the nets or something, but it seems like she was just able to crawl under all those nets anyway. Oh my god, I'm just so confused. One, like, why these nets were clever. And two, why she sent Tuk Tuk all the way down there, telling him to focus and everything, making it seem like a big deal when she was able to just crawl over there just fine. Like, did she need to empty her pockets of him in order to fit under there? I don't know. The two attempt a high five at the end, with Raya saying, give me some shell, though I don't know what he did to earn that high five. Tuk Tuk then falls over, but Raya helps him back up, and she stands before the circular entrance where something she's after is obviously hidden. She uses her 2 bamboo sticks to open the door, so she's obviously prepared for that, but still found those nets clever. I'm so sorry, I keep going on about these nets. I'll drop it. Raya walks into the room and starts climbing up these steps, and there's also water, but it's not running down the steps. It's going up the steps. So maybe she is Katara. The room has an open ceiling and is full of vegetation, including these little purple flowers that actually have little purple lights coming around from them everywhere. But in the center of the room, there is a rock with something glowing sticking out of it. Very Sword in the Stone-esque, though it looks more like a flower. A masked man appears with a man bun and a sword held horizontally across his lap. Zuko? No, I'm just kidding. But his mask reminded me of Zuko's. The mask is green face and has sharp teeth coming out of the mouth. This man is also wearing the glove that only covers the index and middle finger. And it's only one glove. The two exchange threatening looks to each other. Raya advances on him and seems very skilled in movement as she kind of dances around the masked man before trying to hit him. The man seems to also have this skill and actually closes his eyes and then moves in her way as if he felt her going there. For these entire scenes, I felt like Raya looked a little small. Like, this is a tiny princess, so I was wondering how old she is. For much of the rest of the trailer, she looks a little bit older, so I'm thinking that that entire first part of the trailer was like a flashback that we're going to see in the beginning of the movie when she fights that masked man. She then starts to narrate during the trailer. She says, "My whole life I trained to become a guardian of the Dragon Gem." The teaser shows dust settling, revealing a desert land with interesting rock structures in the background and a BB-8 looking character rolling through, and there are some scattered palm trees. It sure looks like BB-8 from that shot, but I'm pretty sure it's Tuk Tuk with Raya riding on his back. She then pulls out a sword that looks very similar, if not the exact same sword that the masked man had in the beginning. So I'm thinking that she probably overcame him and took or earned the sword. Maybe he was the previous guardian of the Dragon Gem, and maybe she took his place? You can see that there's a gem locked in the sword with two dragon-esque looking figures curving out of it. There also seems to be a teardrop on her arm guard, so again with the Katara similarities. As she's riding, she passes a crash cart and 4 people, or maybe statues because they're standing so still, standing and praying. So that's kind of freaky. it flashes back to her fighting the masked man, and then she says, but the world has changed. So I guess she's been training to become the Guardian, but now, something's off. So, I guess the movie is figuring out what's off about, her plan to become this Guardian. And then it flashes to this next scene and shows what I think is a younger Raya standing next to this man who has the man bun, just like the masked man. So, let the theories flood in. But, I'm pretty sure the masked man is also her father. There is a lot pointing that these two are related, even back in the fight scene. The masked man and Raya both have similar clothing and similar fighting styles. So if this is her dad or her brother or just someone special, that could be what she means by this world has changed. If the king, who's her dad, and her eventually fight, maybe because he's evil, that would definitely be a significant change. But to be honest with you guys, that whole fight scene, even though we keep cutting back to it and obviously it seems important, could very possibly be fake. Like, she could just be training. Again, she could have picked a much more dangerous weapon, and if this was actually a mission, I feel like she would know that there would be danger and she would kind of rack up on the knives and swords more. And also, if you kind of look at the battle, it doesn't seem like either of them are trying to kill each other. It seems more like they're strategically picking their moves. She was literally using sticks. I'm thinking that her dad, since he is the king, would make him the protector of the dragon gem, and maybe this battle is to see if she's ready to take over that position. So maybe when they did fight, she earned the sword and is now grown up and protects the gem using the sword as the new princess. Bam! Okay, back to the trailer though. The scene shows her and this man bun man standing on what seems to be like a stage, looking out at 4 very different groups of people, all who have very distinct clothes, weapons, flags, animals. She continues by saying, and its people are divided. So I'm guessing these groups used to live in harmony, but then something happened. We then watch her rolling through the desert again on Tuk Tuk, and she has her hair out and is wearing darker tones now with a hat that's traditional of Southeastern Asian countries. And she says, now to restore peace, I must find the last dragon. So somehow the dragon will bring her people back together. Like, did the dragon go somewhere? Was it ever around? Does she just need to find it? Does she need to talk to it? Does she need to convince the dragon to pop in and say hi? Like, what's the plan? Why is it needed now? What changed? She already has the dragon gem, but now she needs the dragon too? The trailer continues to flash back to that same fight scene, and in this last shot, Raya is hurled towards the water by the masked man, her dad. She stares right down into the water for a moment, and then it cuts to a hand with 2 rings on the index finger. I also don't know why I'm focused so much on which finger during this trailer. Watch it not even mean anything. And the hand is exploring this unfolded art piece showing a dragon. I'm guessing that's the last dragon that Raya wants to find. But they don't show a close-up of the last dragon or even have it centered. So I think there's more to be seen in this shot. It seems like the last dragon is using the power from the glowing flower or maybe the gem to cast what looks like Maleficent-style waves onto another dragon in the sea that is pushed off screen. So maybe this is showing the destruction of how this dragon became the last one, but I thought they all sacrificed themselves though. Why is there still one left? Or maybe it's just a continuation of this last dragon showing that it stays in the water, it explodes and then the next panel is in the water. I don't know. We don't see the whole scroll, so we don't know what the other half of that dragon is doing or if it is the same dragon or if it's a different one. All we see is that the dragon and the dragon gem kind of work together, but it's hard to tell whether that power is good or bad. From those Maleficent style flames, it doesn't look too good of a power, but if Raya's trying to find it, I assume that she's trying to find it for a good intentional reason. So finally, Raya pulls up after crossing the desert, hops off Tuk Tuk, and takes off her masks and says, "My name is Raya." Well, she narrates this over. Her face in that scene actually looks a little concerned, maybe because she's freaking out over those praying statues. The last few seconds before the final cutscene of the trailer gives us this cool illusion with glass fragments as we look at different aspects of Raya. So we see some dragon jewelry, the brim of her hat, her sword, and her standing in the ring looking off into the distance. Very heroic, very cool. I really like the trippy little glass thing. That was a really cool illusion. I don't know if the glass represents anything. There wasn't other glass elements in the trailer, but maybe it's like the glistening of her sword. I don't really know. I just thought it was cool. In the last scene, we see her again having to roll over Tuk Tuk, but this time he's obviously big, so it's harder. That's also proof that time has passed, that there is a time jump, because, you know, Tuk Tuk grew. We then see the silhouette of the infamous last dragon we've been waiting to see the whole trailer. And it swims by on the back of the title card. This movie is expected to be released in theaters in March 2021, but obviously we'll see about that. You know, a lot of the recent Disney movies that were supposed to be in theaters have just been released to Disney+. Soul was revealed to be released on Disney+ too, so, you know, depending on how long this pandemic lasts, there's a good chance that we'll maybe find Raya on Disney+ eventually too. So that's it. That's the whole trailer. I'm honestly very excited for this movie to come out. I'm happy that we barely saw any of the Last Dragon at all in the trailer, because I feel like that leaves a lot of mystery in the film. We have met Raya a bit, but we have no idea what this dragon is about. Literally, dragons and princesses, especially princess warriors, are my actual two favorite things. So I really need this movie to go well, because it has so much potential to be like one of my new favorite Disney movies. I mean, if Disney ever made a princess warrior dragon movie, I mean, it would, oh my gosh, like everything I ever want to be would be her. So I have so much hope for this movie. I really want it to be good. I've honestly have pretty high hopes too, because in my opinion, all the Disney princess movies have been really solid, good Disney films. And this one looks like it explores a bit of history and shows some new cultures and has some magic in it. So I'm feeling very optimistic that it will be one of the good ones. I think, like all of you, I'm just thankful that Disney is giving us something new and fresh instead of making another sequel or remake. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe all down below. Let me know what you noticed in the trailer. What are your theories? Are you excited for this movie? Let me know. Also, check out what else me and my friends like to fangirl about here on Nerd Culture. We have tons of awesome videos, so, you know, if you're new, definitely watch some of our old stuff. And we have a lot of new exciting projects coming your way in the future. My name is Ruth, and have a super sparkly day. Bye!